Hi guys! Welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new legal advice content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first one is titled, Tenant is renting out my apartment on Airbnb. Tenant isn't responding. Airbnb doesn't care, and my condo board is threatening to fine me for each violation. I have no idea how to even handle this. Location: Toronto, Ontario. I own an apartment in downtown Toronto. Our building has had a bad history of problems with Airbnb tenants, so we voted to ban any sort of short-term rental. Currently, I am on the other side of the continent for work and won't be back until January. I decided to list my place up for a rental in late August, for rental until January. Since the rental time was almost half a year, it doesn't count as a short-term rental. Several people do this in our building and it is fine. I immediately got a hit by a person named Jane, who was a student about to start grad school. I don't know if this is true or not, and we talked and decided to agree to the rental. She signed a document indicating she agreed to the building's rules, including the notice about no short-term rentals. Through services such as Airbnb. Yesterday, I got an email from our property manager. On Monday, they were testing each unit's smoke detectors, and he noticed there were 3 people in the unit, along with a strong smell of pot. They apparently identified themselves as Airbnb renters. Apparently, they tried to deny our property manager from entering, since they weren't sure of who he was, since they were only renting this place for a week through Airbnb. I am violating the rule about no short-term rentals. I am apparently in violation of a bunch of rule violations, such as the fact that more people are staying in my unit than permitted. Apparently, multiple guests have been parking overnight in the visitor spot not allowed, who all recorded my unit number as the one they are visiting. After getting that email, I called him and confirmed, and I was able to find my place listed on Airbnb using very recent photos of my apartment. I tried to contact Jane through email, no response. Phone calls go to voicemail, and Facebook. She blocked me after I sent her a message. I have tried numerous times to talk to Airbnb, but all they have told me is they can't do anything about this and basically refuse to do anything about the listing. Aside from all the issues above, frankly, I don't feel comfortable with a bunch of random strangers in my apartment at all. Unfortunately, I have no idea even what to do about this, legally speaking. Do I have any way to block these random people from entering my unit? Edit. I forgot to add that I have talked to a lawyer about evicting the tenant. However, he told me it could take up to 2+ months, which is why it won't really help, since by then in around 2 months her lease will be over. I want to stop randoms from Airbnb from entering my apartment now. Update. Just wanted to thank you all for your support advice. I was really dumb and naive when it comes to renting out my apartment. The last time I rented it out, the tenant left on time, and I never actually thought about what could happen if they didn't leave. I have started the process of evicting the tenant today, with support from a local lawyer who is going to handle a bunch of the paperwork for me and represent me. My condo board thankfully has been super understanding as soon as I outlined that it was being done without my knowledge, and they have agreed to waive the penalties. Apparently, there were noise complaints on Friday relating to my apartment, which annoyed our condo board. Our concierge service, we have someone at the front desk 247. Will no longer be allowing people to leave keys for people at the front desk. On Sunday, 2 people came into the building asking for keys to my unit, and our concierge service asked if they were Airbnb tenants, and they said yes. He then basically told them to leave right away, and they aren't welcome here. Jane finally got in touch with me today, and basically accused me of numerous things, from harassing her renters to just in general making her life difficult. She also stated that she will be going to the LTP to make a formal complaint, because banning Airbnb is not allowed. When I pointed out that, as people have told me here, that she needs to get my permission before renting out to other people, she went a rant about how she is doing this for numerous places, and how she has never had a problem, and how stupid I am for making her my enemy. I have a ton of proof of what she is doing. Honestly, my biggest concern is what is going to happen to my apartment. I asked a friend to book my room for one night through Airbnb for tomorrow, as it just apparently became available for rent, and take a look at the state of my apartment. Update 2. Thank you all for the wonderful advice, especially the fact that I am allowed to elect someone by proxy to do a unit inspection. I am never going to rent out my room again because this has been a massive battle. My friend to rent the room for a single night because my landlord never responded about doing a walkthrough in time, and I was nervous. Turns out someone, not Jane, but someone who identified himself as Jane's coworker who works for Company X, met my friend in the parking lot. He gave him the keys. I don't know who this person is, but I am not comfortable with some random person having my apartment keys. My friend, ironically, was rejected by the concierge service, who asked him what room he was going to. I forgot to tell my property manager about this. My friend got a full refund from Airbnb, and him and his girlfriend were put up in a nice hotel a few blocks away by Airbnb for the night. My property manager did respond and was kind enough to do a video walkthrough with me on speakerphone, and honestly, my apartment is not in great shape at all. Apparently, it stinks of cigarettes and weed, and there was a beer can being used as an ashtray, which is not allowed since our apartment building is smoke-free. I have stains, burns on my couch, which looks like from cigarettes. Airbnb has not done anything, and her listing is still up. I can't find any other listings of hers. Jane, however, has been constantly sending me angry emails about how I am impacting her financial situation, to how it is making her look bad as an Airbnb host. I told her bluntly the things that I saw from the walkthrough, and how it stinks of smoke, and we are a smoke-free building. She claims she never signed any sort of agreement about condo rules, and I sent her a picture of the agreement she signed, including the condo rules page. I offered to let her out of the lease and not pay any more rent money for the remainder of the time on the lease, skipping November and December, but she left and had the apartment cleaned. She, on the other hand, demanded $5,000 for her to vacate from the apartment early. When I refused, she told me, "I will do everything within my power to make your life a living hell for ducking with me." My lawyer has made the complaint with the LTB, and he thinks it will most likely be resolved by the end of December. This has taught me a hard lesson, and I will never rent my apartment again. Update final. Officially, as of today, Jane has vacated my apartment and building management has changed the locks. We were able to come to a signed agreement where she agreed to vacate the property within 7 days if I refunded her last 2 months of rent of $4,200, which I did. Honestly, between this and my other legal fees, I am basically in the hole, and I would have been better off not having anyone rent my apartment. I talked to someone who is doing a story on Jane, and they were able to confirm that she apparently works for a company rents out places on Airbnb. Said person who was doing a story basically told me they weren't going to pursue this anymore due to time concerns. She isn't a grad student, nor is she even a student. I don't feel like I won, and honestly, I just feel absolutely infuriated with the entire situation. Airbnb to this day still has my place being listed on Airbnb. Who knows why she doesn't have keys anymore? My apartment is a disaster right now, and from what my property manager has stated, it seems like people definitely did smoke in my apartment. There are burns on my couch from cigarette, my dishwasher is broken, and pretty much everything needs a desperate deep clean. But my apartment is safe, more or less. Anyways, I wanted to thank everyone for your advice. It probably isn't the best ending, but it taught me an extremely valuable lesson, and I can go home at Christmas and hopefully clean my apartment. The next one is titled, "Neighbors put security camera on my porch." On, not pointed to, but literally on. I'm not sure where to report this or if I can even report it to begin with. CT state. This is a multifamily home. The couple that lives upstairs are very spiteful and have been doing small things like tipping our trash over and keying the cars. But the main issue right now is they installed a Ring doorbell camera. Yes, it's a doorbell, not sure why, on our porch wall. We rent out the bottom, which is the front porch, but they have a porch on the top for which all their packages come. Landlord will not interfere. It makes me uncomfortable that I cannot use my front porch without being watched. Any advice is appreciated. Update. CT location. So a while ago, I posted this telling about how the tenants above bolted a camera on my front porch. After many conversations with the landlord claims her daughter has caught COVID and that she is in quarantine. But after her quarantine, she will be coming down to enforce the camera removal. The landlord has further shared with me that she is in the process of evicting them, and has been for a year now, as they are $10K plus behind in rent. Last night, the man upstairs came knocking hard at my door, screaming at me because I told the landlord I have a leak in the ceiling. He seemed drunk or under the influence of something, as his reason for being irate did not make sense. Taking some of your advice, I contacted the non-emergency police number to report the camera, But they told me that it is not a police matter and that I must wait for the landlord to come out of quarantine to enforce the camera removal. I've also invested in a doorbell camera of my own, as well as one pointing at the cars. Just waiting for the tech to come and hook it up. Questions. How long does eviction process take exactly? I realize CT is a moratorium state that does not end until 2022. Any more tips regarding the situation are very much appreciated. The last one is titled, "Was involved in a car accident and everyone has opinions on how much my injuries are worth, but won't give me a realistic number that I can get without lawyering up." California, USA. Was driving home. I work 30 minutes away from where I live and was involved in an accident in which a truck with a trailer pulled out in front of me across traffic while I was going 60 down the highway and blocked both lanes. There was heavy fog, and I didn't see him until it was way too late, and I had nowhere to go, so I hit him hard. There was a lot of lucky factors. Lucky, I steered toward the back of his truck because it saved him from any injury and reduced mine. Lucky I had a seatbelt and airbag. Lucky I covered my face on impact, etc. Both trucks were completely totaled, and I made it out with only super severe bruising and scratches from where I smashed the window with my head. He wasn't injured at all from what I can tell. I ended up trapped in my vehicle in a ditch for like 30 minutes though, and the entire experience messed me up. California Highway Patrol found him completely at fault, so his insurance Jayco has to pay me. The problem is that Jayco has us scrambling because everything is handled by individual specialists. The one who will be inspecting the truck and paying us out hasn't gotten back to us yet, but the one for personal injury has made me an offer I haven't accepted yet. They said they'll pay me a total of $2,740 for bodily injury, coverage, full and final settlement of any and all claims. The deadline to accept this is Dec 14. This amount is in addition to the $250 they paid me for me not being able to work for 2 days because of how much pain I was in. Is $2,500 enough, or should I be asking for more? We have no idea how much we'll be getting for the truck, so I'm worried I won't be able to afford a new one. Should I be calling back and asking for more because of mental trauma as well? I still have to drive out of town for work, and I have anxiety attacks every time a car passes me or comes up on me faster than normal. I can't even be a passenger of a vehicle without feeling wigged out like I'm in that ditch again. This is causing me to have to look for other work closer to home because I hate making the drive now, and it keeps causing me to be late, but I'll have to downgrade to part-time. If they're lowballing me, how much should I be asking for? And realistically, how high can I go before they try and take me to court? My family has been through a lot, and I don't have the time or monetary resources to lawyer up. I just need a bare minimum number that I can aim for that they won't try and take me to court for. Update. I talked to the claim adjuster, or whatever they're called, and explained I've been under mental distress and feel I deserve more of a payout, and we were able to negotiate it up to $5,000. I feel I could have pushed it higher, but I didn't think it would be so easy, and I'm satisfied with just doubling it. If I ever go through this again, I'll definitely aim much higher and see where they're willing to land. Just updating in case anyone else is in this situation. Aim higher if you feel they're underpaying you. Worst they can say is no, and as it turns out they can't give you less than an offer once they give it to you. If they say they'll pay you $4,000, they can't go below $4,000. At least that's what my insurance rep told me. Thanks for listening.